There was a young lady by the name of Jaahnavi Kandula. Now, this young lady was walking, crossing the street, and she was about 23 years old. And there was a cop blazing down the street at 65 miles an hour going to a call. Well, he was speeding, and he ended up hitting Jaahnavi, and she lost her life. Now, it picks up where a Seattle cop that heard about what one of his fellow cops has done. He's, the vice president of the Seattle Police Officers Guild. He's talking with the president. It's kind of like their union. He's talking with the president. I want you to hear how sick and demented this cop is, laughing at what happened to this young lady. Let's roll that.
This video from a Seattle police officer's body-worn camera captures what sounds like a callous disregard for human life.
I think she went up on the hood, hit the windshield, then when he hit the brakes, flew off the car. But she is dead.
That's the voice of SPD Officer Detective Daniel Otterer. It's recorded January 24th, one day after a woman, 23-year-old Jaahnavi Kandula, was struck and killed by another officer's squad car while that officer was responding to a call. Kandula was in a crosswalk when she was hit by the patrol car that was going 63 miles per hour in a 25-mile-per-hour zone.
It does not seem like there's a criminal investigation going on.
In a different portion of the call, the officer appears to be talking about paying off the victim's family, such as a monetary settlement if the family were to sue the department.
No, it's a regular person. Yeah, just write a check. Just, yeah, $11,000. She was 26 anyway. She had limited value.
As for the officer heard in the video, King 5 has confirmed he's also the vice president of the Seattle Police Officers Guild, the largest law enforcement labor union in the Northwest. The Guild did not return a request for comment.
Now, this cop, Daniel Otterer, he's suspended right now, pending investigation, right? But I made this video because you have brothers and sisters that live in Seattle, and you got a maniac that needs to be off of the police department. Why are you laughing? And then saying the young lady's life didn't have no value, just give them $11,000. See, all that, every time they do something, the city should be paying millions of dollars? No. The city should not be paying by themselves. I think the city should be paying half, and the cop pay half. And they lose their peace officer license when they're convicted. It's just that simple, of something civilly. Until depending on what they do, but something like this, like with him, he need to lose it for a time, for sure. Me, I'm very strict. I say he need to lose it for at least 5 years. Because he had to go find him another career if that's the case, right? Because that's sick. Because if someone is doing something to black people, shooting them, beating them, etc., he's going to be laughing about it. He's going to think it's funny. Guys like that, I'm telling you, that's the ones that want to be police officers. And this is the ones that the cities uphold, they defend, they stand behind. That guy right there is going to cause an uprising in Seattle. And a lot of times these problem race soldiers, the city know they're a problem, and they don't do nothing about it until they end up taking somebody's life, and now there's an uprising. Then they want to play dumb, like, I don't know what caused this. Why the people are mad? They're destroying the city. You could have prevented all this a long time ago when you get that maniac off of the forest. You understand? Now, I will say this to the Indian American community. Some of you, not all, like to side with the folks. Some of you. Even some of you want to side with the folks so much you want to be a Richard Spencer. I remember I listened to Richard Spencer's podcast. It was just on Twitter. And an Indian American called and asked, could they join, as Indian Americans join with Richard Spencer in white supremacy? Richard Spencer said no. The reason why he said no, he said, I'm not saying because you don't really believe what we believe, he said, but you have too much African blood, and that won't work. So even Richard Spencer know that you are not one of them, and he's telling you about the African blood that's in you. You got some who's darker than me and don't like black folk, like really? Like, how do you think you're better? And then 9 times out of 10, if you came here, you probably wasn't the top of the top in India anyway, the ones who feel that way. So why do you come here looking down on Black Americans? There's no reason for that. We're not bothering nobody. We're not. But don't get buddy-buddy with the white supremacists. They're going to show you every single time how they feel about you. Because if they cared about you, they wouldn't be laughing. They wouldn't say that her life didn't have no value. Oh, she's young. $11,000, really? You can wipe your butt with $11,000. That's not no money. But no amount of money would bring that young lady back. But I just want, Black people in Seattle to understand what you got on your hands, and the Indian American community to understand that these folks don't like you either. And trust me, you are not in a better position than Black people.